Well, let's talk about the media and the Pentagon and what Hegseth has said about it. So, Maureen, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Before we get to the video, which I think will tell you what he said and how he said it, so tired of Hegseth. I mean, he is so unqualified. I'm going to say it. He's a nasty bugger. He doesn't care about anybody. So now he's wants to control the media, and he's attacking them. But you know what? He's so dumb. He never knows what he's saying. And what's really strange is they act like they're not communicating with each other, he and Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Oh, please. I can't believe that. Obviously, he's Trump's puppet, and he's being controlled by him. He doesn't have a backbone or a mind of his own. And having said that, why don't you show the video?
Alrighty.
It'll disgust you, but.
Well, not Whoopi, but we'll get past that.
The Senate failed to pass a war powers resolution that would limit, whose authority on military action. Administration officials also took heat yesterday for their comments on the 6 U.S. soldiers killed in combat. Let's take a look.
We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality.
Is it the position of this administration that the press should not prominently cover the deaths of U.S. service members?
No, it's the position of this administration that the press in this room and the press across the country should accurately report on the success of Operation Epic Fury. What
Secretary Hegseth was complaining that it was front page news about these 6 service members who were killed.
You and your network know that you take every single thing this administration says and tries to use it to make the president look bad. That is an objectable fact.
I don't think covering troop deaths is trying to make.
If you're trying to.
Well, so here's my question. Every president who has had a war going on has always allowed the press to talk about the deaths. They always keep it front and center. They're always a part of it because it's not just troops. These are American people. These are American soldiers who gave their lives. So this isn't about the president. This is about we're losing lives, and that's what they're reporting. And sometimes I think, it ain't all about you. It ain't all about you. Take this. This is a real thing because, this whole thing, and I know a lot of people don't agree, but what's frustrated me more than anything is, usually when there is a plan, when they go out and they know they're going to do something, they're going to bomb somebody. They've talked to the American embassies to find out how many people are here, so they have some sort of plan to get them out. Is it always smooth? No, but there is some sort of plan to get them out. And the original, I'm sorry, Joy, the original response to Americans who were there on vacation was, you can't come to us to get you out. They have amended it, but this is the American embassy. If I can't go to the embassy because a war is broken out, who do you go to? I'm just frustrated by the whole thing.
I get that. I think war can be frustrating, and I think it can be scary, and I think attacks can be scary. When I think about, and I know Secretary of War Pete Hegseth well enough to know that he's heartbroken over the deaths.
Oh my God! No, he's not. No, he's not.
No. Guantanamo Bay.
Liar, liar! Pants on fire.
More than most. What it's like to
he's nuts.
War or
oh God.
The sacrifice that comes with war, and he will.
No, he doesn't. He wasn't even qualified to go to war.
The bodies.
That's why he's no longer in the military.
So he's not flippantly saying.
Did we hear enough, or do we want to?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, sounds like we want to talk about this.
That wasn't the video.
Tomato.
I sent a video that showed really just Hegseth talking.
Oh,
so
yeah, this is the one. This is the second one that you said we were going to show the view. I can.
Sorry about that, guys. So well,
it's like we're at a movie and we're throwing popcorn at the screen. Hell yeah.
That was triggering. Woo!
Yeah.
The one that he was criticizing the media. I'll talk about it. It was specifically CNN, and he put that whole organization down.
We're 6 days
that they were despicable.
into the U.S. strikes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's the same video. So I'm not sure what happened.
At least happened as I sent that off to you. Sorry about that, but I can emote myself. It was just despicable as usual. I mean, he just said there was awful things about CNN and the people there, but you know what he was doing? He was going against the First Amendment.
Yep.
And the journalists and speaking the truth. He wanted to ban it. And he said that he had been talking to Trump, and they were thinking of banning CNN and any of those people speaking to this war. And then Trump comes on and says, I don't know what he's talking about. Excuse me, isn't this your Secretary of Defense? And I'm not going to say, well, you know what he calls it, which is.
No,
when they told them that they didn't have to obey unlawful orders, why did they obey going to war? I would have, some people say they were afraid of losing their jobs, but it's a lose-lose anyway.
I keep waiting. I keep hearing from people that are veterans talking about like people who are currently in the military that are mad about all this. So where are they? Like, this is the time for you guys to step up and
that's why I said Mark Kelly told him that you don't have to obey this. And I want to know where the adults are.
Well, and it should be the commanders, because we can't leave it up to the enlisted men. It has to be the leaders in the military who are saying we are not going to follow unlawful orders. This was not authorized by Congress. This is not an authorized war. And unfortunately, they got rid of all those generals who would even think about doing that. Right? So
I'll give a quote from Hegseth too. He says, quote, "We will control the media." He actually
that's what he said today.
The hell he will.
Yeah, he talked about I saw that video. He talked about the banners. Like instead of the banners saying this, they should be saying that. And then he talked about Pete Ellis or whoever that is that's about to take over CNN.
David Ellison.
We can't wait until Ellis. He can't take over soon enough. It's just ridiculous.
Well, he's already done that with access to the Pentagon, right? We don't even have real journalists at the Pentagon. I think they're all pretty much right-wing influencers at this point.
I'm still frustrated that, like the journalists just don't stand up for each other. Like, good on Caitlin Collins for not backing down. Like, she's a tough one. She doesn't put up with stuff. And like, I honestly think that like Hegseth and Trump are afraid of her because she doesn't back down. No. And so that's the only reason why they insult her, because it's all they can do.
Yeah. I'm wondering even if the independent media people will get the real news.
Oh,
that's a good question.
I mean, I really do. Will Don get the real news? Will Joy Reid get the real news? I don't know the way they're trying to shut it down.
This is why you have to extend your sources beyond what the news here in the United States, and you have
I'm just wondering how.
International news.
Yeah, the BBC. Andrea.
This is problem. There's a lot of people that are also getting subscriptions to VPNs where you can say like, hey, I'm actually in Canada or I'm actually in England. So you can see the international news from an international perspective right away instead of what they're trying to say here.
Okay, that's
Can you put Jazzy's back up real quick?
VPN on my phone and on my laptop. I am currently in Montreal.
Oh, look,
because
Keisha's already on it. Already on it. I love that.
our
Inserts
audience
after
would like
ground
to know
news.
that too. You know,
That's funny, Jazzy. Yeah.
Yeah, VPNs are great. They're not that expensive, and you can tell them where you are, and then you have access to media wherever that is. Then you get access to international media.
Yeah, I think my VPN's like $6 a month or something. It's something that's pretty reasonable.
now is it called VPN, Victor Papa?
Yes,
We'll send you.
it stands for Virtual Private Network.
Okay.
And we will not be advertising a particular company because they can pay us for that.
Right.
But after the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in World War II in England, the radio they had, where people could access, I can't recall it now, but that's what they did in, World War II. God forbid.
Radio Free Europe, Maureen.
That was it. That was it. Yeah. Yeah.
Can we put Angry Army that's coming back up? I wish there was a way for me to convey the double-edged sword with wearing the uniform and having your own ethics and belief systems. There is a chain of command and rank system that plays a part. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So we can't put that pressure on the rank and file, basically. We have to put that pressure on the leadership.
Yeah, that was part of that story that we did on Wednesday when I was talking about, like, you can't get up and walk out of the room when your commander is speaking. So, or you can't tell him, get out of my face with all that, because then you're brought up on insubordination charges.
Right. So. Correct. So it is, it's double-edged sword. And what do? You report it like people did, right? Mm-hmm. You report it. Maureen, any more on that?
No. Sorry about the video, though, guys. Experience that one.
I tried to pull up the other two that you gave me, and it went to nothing.
Well, I'll make sure in the future.
We'll do some testing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some nightmares now, Maureen. Between Hegseth and Hasselbeck.
The double H's.
Yeah. So in staying with the same theme, I know, Mo, we're going to talk a little bit because California was threatened.
Yes.
Or we thought so.
We thought
right?
so.
We the people unite.